Ho, ho, ho! It's me and Santa for the Fireside Chat. I had to pin him up on the wall because just a few more days before Christmas and I'm feeling festive and I thought I had to dress up for the Fireside Chat. I'm Pat Sloan. This is going to be super fun. I have got going to talk a bit about planning and planners for 2020. Talk about the scrap quilt, which we're going to do a sew along right as we kick off on January 1st. For those who are sewing on the 1st, of course you're going to sew on the 1st. You have to sew on the 1st. I'm going to tell you why. And a few other things that are going on. I'm going to catch you up on all of that. So it is so good to see you jumping in here a few days before all the holiday rush starts. Actually, mine starts tomorrow. We start the family visiting. That is what goes on for the Sloan family. We have some travel both on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day to be with family. So I'm pretty excited about that. I have a niece coming in from out of town and we get to meet her boyfriend who she's been with for a really long time. So I'm really excited to meet him. This is going to be so much fun. So all right. First, I have to tell you about Snack Chat because I got the most gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous chocolates and I want to show them to you. They came in this box and they're all the kind that are really fresh made, and it reminded me of Europe actually, because in Europe, when I lived there, if you went to like even the grocery store, they had a case that was cold and all of the really fresh with the fresh creams, the chocolates, and they would have them in these cold cases and you get them and put them in a beautiful little box and you basically would eat them within a day or so. So this came as a gift from my Benartex fabric family. Yeah, they sent this to me and I've already opened it. But I have to show you. I had to put the ribbon back on. Do you do that? You get like a pretty box, you get the ribbon back on it. I know, I'm nuts. I do, I put the ribbon back on. But I have to show these to you. They're actually made in a shop. The company is Norman Love. Is it Norman? Yeah, Norman Love Confectionaries. And they're made in Florida. So I'm going to open this. Hold on, let me just open the box and just show you how beautiful. We already ate some. See, look at this. Look how pretty they are. They're all sort of like hand painted, and they're just fabulous. Like, let me just grab one out here. Whoop! Look at that. It's all like splatter painted. Look how pretty that is. And then you get like a little guide that tells you exactly what they are. It's kind of like, you know, the old Whitman boxes where you had to look on the box on the back, or the paper. Didn't it come with a paper in it? And it would tell you exactly what the chocolates were so that you didn't get the icky ones. You left those for your brother or your dad. Poor dad. Dad, those ones are for you. Those are the ones we left. So you're like Mr. Santa back there. I just had to put him up. So I got him pinned across the glow. See, there's the fabric. Got the quilt behind there. I pinned him up. I'm just going to decorate. I got other stuff on my design wall right now. So Santa is going to hang out with us today here. The other thing I grabbed when I was in Target was this bag of ginger minis. I've never had them, so I thought I am going to see what those were. Do you remember last week when I told you about the ginger snaps? Well, my mom gets my emails. She doesn't quilt. So she wrote me from the email. She goes, "Are those ginger snaps?" I had them on the plate with the table runner, the Christmas table runner. She goes, "Are those ginger snaps?" I'm like, "Yes." She goes, "I love those." So I had to send my mom a bag, I guess. That would be good, right? Send mom a bag of ginger snaps. I think she would like them. Only problem is there's such a big bag. You saw it last week. It's like, that's just way too many. I can't eat all of those. And apparently more people like them than I realized, so that's good, but too big a bag. So what I'm going to do is talk about a little bit about planning before we talk about the Scrappy quilt. And I have got two planners to show you because they're different and they have different features, and some will work better for one of, and some will work better for others of you. It's, you know, that's just the way planners are. You know how you like to look at your projects and your year. So first of all, do you plan? Are you like a planner? Do you carry around a calendar, and you keep all your stuff listed. All right, so what I have are these two planners to show you. The first of all, it's this one, which is designed and produced by my friend Stephanie Palmer, and she has a team of people, and I'm going to tell you about this one. And this is one that Lori Holt put together, which is called the Scrappy Planner. And so they're really quite different. They have a lot of the same stuff in them, but different layouts and how they're set up. So let's talk about Stephanie's first. And what she did, she's got two different things. You can just either order. She's got a couple different covers because the fabric on the cover is from, I have to look up the lady's name. Oh, this is in here. Well, first let me tell you, she comes with this, and it also comes with the book, so a magazine. So the magazine has patterns in it, and they have a sampler, and they have an interview with the lady who designed this fabric, who is a British fabric designer, and she's kind of new to me, Karen Lewis. So here's Karen Lewis, and there's an interview in the magazine with Karen, and then there are different, there's a sampler, which is really kind of a fun sampler. So like every month you can do this sampler, a sampler block, and that's always a fun thing to do as you go skipping through the months. And then they have other quilts, like here's one called Jeweled Blossom. So this magazine has 12 quilts and a sampler and an interview, and that's all outside of the planner, plus techniques. So there's like a hand quilting tutorial, which is like a big stitch. So if you've always wanted to do that, there's a really nice step-by-step photo tutorial on that. And then all the pictures were done by Stephanie and Kitty in Costa Rica. So they took all the quilts to Costa Rica that are in here, and that's where they did the photo shoot, which they have a little article in the back then, like a little travel journal about their trip to Costa Rica. So that comes with the planner. Now the planner itself, I'm going to take this and get a little closer, because if you are working in a planner, there's some really important things, right? Spirals, spirals, spirals. I don't know how anybody can live without a spiral. So their spiral is super big, which I like, because if you decide to put some stuff in there, it's going to still, you know, be real doable. They have some add-in things, like she has this write-off shopping list, which I think this is the pen. You can write on it and then wipe it off, you know, sort of like a whiteboard. And then hers is primarily, the focus of this planner is the months. Whoops, there we go. So the months are the focus. So so each tab you're going, I'm going to just switch, I like to June. So we're going to go to June first. I like the quilt on June. I like the saying. This saying is so, let me just move this camera there, that'll be better. So a year from now, you may wish you had started today. This is by Karen Lamb. This quote, a year from now, you may have wished you started today. This is so perfect, because we put things off and you could have been doing them if you just keep putting them off. So there's always a quilt, which is in the magazine. That pattern is in here. And then a quote. And then after that is the calendar. So you've got a monthly view and then the weekly view, where you can do, if you are a calendar person and you like to keep tracks, the to-do list for quilting, for personal, for shopping, some notes. So everything is all laid out. And this is really traditional. Then in the back, after, you know, for each month, then she has a project section, first showing all the quilts that, and the designers for the magazine, which is here. They're all in here. And then a place after that where you can do there's some graph paper, some other different graph papers. And then after that is a project section. So this is how it ends up, with a project section that you can list what things you have going on. So if you want to be super organized in 2020 and the whole decade to come, you can go ahead and list everything. Then there's a reference guide, which is really nice. It's got some of those, you know, measurements you need to know, backings, and, you know, half square triangles and different things like that. So her planner, what is unique about this year, let's chat, is that Stephanie decided that it would be really nice for you to have options. So she has 3 different covers. I selected this one, and I will link you down below into where you can just go and purchase, you know, and get it sent from Amazon, you know, really quick. But she also has an option, and I'll link you to that, where you can go and customize what is in it. So some people like their week to start on Sunday, some people like their week to start on Monday in a planner. So she has the option for you to do that, and I will link you over to her website. So if you choose to like get a planner made specifically how you like it, you can do that. So that is the Quilter's Planner, and they've been around for several years. So they've just gotten better and better every single year. She learns so much about what you all like and how you like to work, and she's a quilter. I've had her on my podcast before. She's also a long armer. So she's quite a talented lady and a wonderful friend. So this one I think is just amazing for having so many patterns, and they're so unique, and all of the interesting stuff that comes with the magazine. Okay, so the next, let me just stick that over there. Oh, no, I gotta keep it here for a minute. Okay, so the other one, oh, it also had the tiny little planner booklet. So there's a tiny little planner one for your purse. So if you want to keep notes in there, you can do that. Now the other one that has been out for a really long time is the Scrappy Planner. And it is, I would consider it a little bit more generic of a planner, although it does have a calendar section, but that's not its main focus. So let's take a look at this one, because it does work a little differently. And that's what's so nice, is that you can really pick what works for how you like to process things. So in the Scrappy Planner, this is by Lori Holt. She put this together. So there's a bit from Lori there in the front, and some more quotes. So the main part in here is projects. So she has a front page for 50. I don't know, some of us might need more, like an additional page added in here. Maybe you can just write on the back side. And then each project has a whole lot of detail. Quilt size, block sizes, number of blocks, color swatches, you can do sketches. And so this is the majority of this is like half the book. So half the book is allowing you all of this space to plan and document the things that you work on. So this is fabulous if that is your focus. If you really want to get your quilts down and know what you're going to be doing with them, you can just, and then have a documentation of it, a record of it. So this is super, super awesome. And of course, it's also got the spiral, which is really nice. Then she does have a calendar section to small blocks for months, then a little bit bigger blocks for months, and you get to pick what month you're working on. So if for some reason you just want to block out and work for May, and then maybe you don't do this again until September, you could use this planner that way. So that is all of the section, the calendar section. Then there's some tips for organizing and how she does her scrappy stuff with patterns. So Lori also has patterns. She has 6 scrappy quilt patterns in this one, so you could make one of those if that is your interest. That's super cute. I love those. And then in the back is a place for some extra notes, some extra note paper that you'll need. So the Scrappy Planner is really great, and there are also, I'll link you up, there are also some pens, and she has, I think she still has like some really cute little bookmarks that look like sewing machines. There's some other stuff like that that came along with this particular planner. So I will show you all those. For me, the end of the year is when I think about this stuff, because I like to sort of get that organization stuff set up, what I'm going to do between Christmas and New Year's. Because when it comes to New Year's, then I like to start on the new stuff. it is a fresh start for me. That's always how I like to think of it. And so I want to have sort of all this planning stuff done and wrapped up, ready to go, have everything organized. I forgot to show you my t-shirt. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, the snowman. So at the end, I have to tell you something about these planners, additional about the planners. So don't let me forget at the end about the planners. All right, let's talk about the traffic jam, the scrappy quilt we're going to do starting on January 1st. You know, we're going to have big plans January 1st. My thing is for January 1st, and I will tell you this again next week when I do my Fireside Chat, is I always like to do on January 1st all the things I want to be sure I do all year. My hat's slipping. So that would be, I want to be sure I sew, be sure I take a walk, be sure I eat some good food, sure I see my family, my friends. I don't always get to see my friends on that day, but I usually see my neighbors, so that's nice. And anything else that I really want to say, this is the kind of things I want to fill my life with during the year. I want to do a little bit of all of them. Read a little bit, relax a little bit, tidy a little bit, all on the 1st. So it's not, I don't do a crazy amount, but a little bit. But sewing is definitely I have to do some sewing. So we're going to do traffic jam. We're going to start that. We're going to run it for 3 weeks, and then we will start the children's game, childhood games. We'll start childhood games after the first, you know, like I think it's the 22nd. So it's we'll do 3 weeks of Wednesdays with traffic jam. So this is the block for traffic jam. So it looks like this, and it's all squares. So that's what's really fun, is that you don't have to do any serious thinking for this. Squares are super easy. I wanted to show you one piece of fabric, and I thought I saw it here. Oh, I got in the little ballerinas. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about how I want to tell you how I look at the fabric for these. And here's where I've sewn some of them together. I have quite a few of them for this blue and white all together, because I've sewn some in 4Zs. There we go. So I've already got 4 together with the sashing, and I'm using a light blue square. See, I'm going to use a light blue square with the sashing. So let me tell you about the structure of this block and how I'm thinking about the fabrics for it. So let's get a little close-up look at them. And I have my little project basket. Here we go. This basket here, first I'm going to show you this basket here. I have 2.5 inch squares. It's 2.5 inch squares and 4.5 inch squares. And I have a link at my website, link to it under this video. So just go ahead and download the directions for the block. And I have cut not just these, but zillions of more, you know, navy squares over time. And I just keep these next to the sewing machine. So they're right over there next to the sewing machine. And that way, as I'm working, I just pick up 2 fabrics like this. I put them right sides together, and then I will use them to start and stop other patchwork. And as I'm doing that, I'm building these units. So, and then these squares I cut periodically when I have something, a white that is a little bit bigger, because all of these are scrappy. So let me just show you that. I'm not using, now you could be more, I call this controlled scrappy at this point. I call this controlled scrappy. If you wanted to do super controlled, I would make all 4 of these the same. Like if somebody's really doesn't like it this scrappy, this is just too much variety, because some are more white, some are more yellow. If that's just too much for you, then make all 4 of these the same. Make all the background the same if you want. You could just use solid, or some other print that you have, like this blossom is really nice. It's got that same blue in it. So when I'm working for the squares and I'm getting them out of that little bin, I'm not too crazy that they have to all be different. As you can see, I pulled this one here. These 2, there's 2 the same, and here's 2 of the same. I'm not at all crazy like saying, oh, I can't have that, I can't have them the same. That's totally fine by me, because they're going to show up. Also, this one here, I'm going to show you that. Can you see it? It's pieced. So as I was working, I pieced 2 smaller pieces to get the 2.5 inch square. So I will build a 4 patch, there's 2 of them, and then I'll build this 2 by 6 patch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what I'm building, this section here, and then 2 of these. And then I will be sewing these, adding them here, and voila, a block. So the fabrics there tend to be some that are similar, you know, like there's this again, you know, it's similar because I had quite a bit of that I cut up. But then here, these pieces are all different. This one here is from the flower bouquet sew along. That's where that's from. This piece here is a very old piece from my stash. I got that cut up. So I'm not worried what's going on with all these. I'm just trying to keep the blues darker. I'm not going super light, although occasionally there is a light one like this or something that reads more light like that. But for the most part, I'm trying to keep them pretty dark. So there's another one here. You can get them pretty dark. Now, what if you wanted to do something else? Let's talk about that, because you can do other colorways. You don't have to do navy. You could decide that you want total scrappy. What have I got here? Here's one of my shoe boxes. This is the 2.5-inch squares. So they're all in here by color. So this box has sort of black and gray and orange and pinks. So that's what's going on in here. And I could just, you know, pull out stuff. Let's see. Like come down here. So if I just wanted to planning it I think is more time consuming. You know, I find that it just is a little bit more serendipitous if I just have them all sort of in here. So if I was going to have what I was working with and there was a variety, I would throw the variety in this smaller bin rather than trying to come over to this bin and pull things out. So this one, if I wanted to throw in some darks, I might decide, okay, well, I'd rather have a dark there and throw some darks in. Maybe I would like to mix it up a bit. Maybe I'd like to have some purple in there. So if I just took everything that was in this bin and just took a handful of each grouping and put them over here, that's what I would pull from, and I would just make those units. I don't have a count because you can decide how many of these you want to make. You know, you might not want to make a very big quilt. Maybe you want to make it, you know, maybe you want to make it baby size. And if you want to make a baby size quilt, you will only need several blocks. But the background is where you're going to have to be sure you sort of look around. You do not have to do a white based or a light based background. If you happen to look in your stash and you have like a lot of green, let's say you're like, I have a ton of green. So maybe you want to do all your backgrounds green, and then you could do, you know, yellow on green. You could do purple on green, black on green, anything like that. What I do find though is that if you want to do real scrappy, like everything is totally different. I have one of those. I'm going to see if I can find the quilt. I have a picture of it that I'll show when we get started. But I don't know where the quilt is. I don't know if I gave it away, which I might have. But it was very scrappy, and it actually had a border like it's in the pattern, which is all squares. But I find that if you're going to do really scrappy like that, having a light background with not a lot of pattern, you know, maybe the whites or something like this versus like the sailboats, because you have a lot, when you have it real scrappy, there's a lot of competition for your eye settles. So I find the more solid works better for that. So now you can get colors ready. If you decide you haven't done anything with 2.5-inch squares, then you have what, like 10 days before, or no, not that many, less than 8 days before the end of the year, for January 1st. So you can spend it getting squares ready. So, you know, the big squares and the little squares, you can do that. If you already have squares, then go ahead and look through them and decide, you know, do you want a lot of lights? Do you want a lot of, you know, do you want a kind of background based on what you have? Just sort of look at whether you want it to be maybe more controlled, like this, where the plus sign is all kind of one color, like maybe all pink, or, you know, all purple, all blue like mine. So that is your project assignment between now and then, if you needed an assignment, like you need something to do. So also, the beginning of the year, the first week of the year, on the first Friday, we're going to start this Out West, and we had more kits come in. So and I think we can make even more after that. So if they sell out, you know, it gets, after you do the kits a couple of times, it starts to get harder to get the fabric. So if you're interested, and I wanted to show you, I did a short video and showed this, but I thought I'd show it here on the Fireside Chat. This is the border fabric that kicked off Out West. This is the one that I just love it. It's designed by my friend Katrina Roccelli. Yeah, that's hers, Katrina. And so I just love it. That's what started the whole thing, and that's what's in the kit. But you can also, it's all fat quarter friendly, so you can get a fabric bundle that you really like and then add the other fabrics that you need. So I'll link that down below. So if you are watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, underneath the video there is a text box, and in there is a link over to my website where I have everything that you need. Also, while you're there, get over to YouTube and subscribe so that you always get all my notices. Yay! So a couple other things before we wrap up. My friend Jane sent me the cutest present. She sent me cute socks. Like, who doesn't need cute socks? Little avocados on pink. Isn't that adorable? I just love it. And then she sent me some fabric, Australian fabric. Look at the koala bears and the kangaroo in the stockings. How sweet is that? That is so sweet. And then some more, like koalas and the parrots or some sort of bird. Oops, can you see it? And the joeys, right? The joeys. Has anybody been to Australia? Yeah, it's someday. It'd be really nice to go there. My dad's wife has family there somewhere, so they've been a few times. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you before we sign, there's I had some books come in, and they are just gorgeous, and so I wanted you to be able to see them if you're looking to pick up a few books. Blue and white. You know how I love red and white? Well, I also love blue and white. I don't know what it is about two-color quilts. Blue, right, for traffic jam? I have a friend who did her whole living room in blue and white, and it was stunning. It was so stunning. So this quilt, this book has 13 quilts. It's called Timeless Treasures. There's some of them are based off antiques, like this one from Jill Chalice. And there are others that are newer, like this Scrappy one is amazing. Look at that. So it's full of really incredible work, and the photography is gorgeous. You want to just redecorate your room. Here on the back of the sofa, look at that. Blue and white, blue and white. Then another one is from my friend Kathy Schmidt. And Kathy does embroidery, and she's done several books with Martingale, my publisher, and they're all super incredible. These are small, really small embroideries. Oh, more blue. More blue. Look at that. But if you love doing embroidery, a lot of springy things, you can just, I could just sit and sit. I really like to stitch. Oh, look at the bunny. I didn't see that one. Look at the bunny. Look how cute. Yay. So I will link up to those. Those are two really nice new books that are out that Martingale sent me to take a look at, and I just think they're great. The embroideries are nice because they're small. You do really small little projects and sort of get them done, right? Yeah. Okay. The other thing we have going next year that starts is the 2020 Designer of the Month for Aurifil. So I will once again be running that, and the whole team is amazing. And next week, on the Fireside Chat, I will tell you a little bit more about that project, because we are focusing on a thread collection every month that's coming out as a whole series that you can use to build your stash of thread. So that is pretty cool. And so it's all sort of going to work together. And I love that we were able to make that happen with the Designer of the Month things. Yay! Okay, so we had a prize last week to give away, a goodie bag to give away. And the question last week was, you had so many good answers to this. The question was, what's your favorite tool if it's not your sewing machine? So that's what I asked last week. And this goodie bag will go out to Deb Brickett. And Deb said that her favorite tool besides her sewing machine is a tape measure. So that, I mean, I have tape measures and I do use them. And she says she loves a tape measure for all kinds of measuring. So Deb, I will email you. So you will get an email from me. Now this week, I want you to do two things before I tell you what I have something to give away this week. This will be the last one for the year. And before I tell you that, I want you to be sure that you're coming over to the Facebook group, because we are hosting now, just started, Christmas decorations. So every year, a couple of days before Christmas, I invite everybody to share their Christmas decorations, whether they are in their home, in their neighborhood, in their town, something beautiful from where they live. And what's really gorgeous is so many of you open your homes and show us the inside of your home, inside of your living room, or you even have trees in your sewing rooms, or and your porch. You show us your home, and we are all so grateful to take a peek and be invited in. So if you have not come over to my Facebook group lately, I have a link down there. So I want you to come and enjoy all of the amazing Christmas decorations and other holidays. And whatever holiday you've decorated for, there's a lot going on, and it's very fun. We only do it for a couple of days and then we stop. So and it's very festive. It always puts everybody in a really happy mood to see twinkly lights and pretty decorations. Also, thank you so much for using all of the links that I give you, because it helps my small family business. It helps Greg and I. It doesn't cost you any more to use any links, the links that I have. And I always try to find you the best deals. So we really appreciate you helping us make all of this happen, all the fun. Okay, last giveaway for 2019. Yeah. I know, it's like this 10-year segment ends. Got to talk about that next week, not this week. But I am going to give away one of each. Yeah, one of each. So somebody will win this planner and somebody will win this planner. And so you're going to need to leave me a question at my website, okay? At my website, which is linked below. And the question is, what I put down? Oh, a simple one. It's the easy one. Okay, so the question is, how do you use a planner? Do you use it more for the calendars? Do you use it more for tracking things? Do you save them? Tell me a little bit about how you use planners. If you've never used a planner, just tell me, I've never used a planner. I'd like to try. I would love to hear. If you just want to tell me the best feature you thought about each of these from what I showed you, that works too. So, and you want to leave that by next Monday. And I will be online, of course, chatting and talking to you, but we're going to have a little bit of family time for the next few days. So I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah, and all of the other holidays that I may not know about. But please have a beautiful few days, and I will chat with you online. And I love you. You are an amazing group of people. Mwah. See you there.